I'm Marquita Hudgens, and this is the Voice Behind the Voice podcast. Woo woo! I'm excited um, because I'm just like it's like I'm on to something. You ever have that feeling like you're on to something? Something's about to break. Something has to break. I feel like something's about to break with this one. So I'm excited. I'm just gonna get straight into it, and I'll talk about everything else later. Um, Today I am giving you the first step, the first attribute to establishing self protocol. Okay, listen here. I Googled self protocol. I searched it on YouTube. I didn't find anybody talking about what I'm talking about. I found a whole bunch of Bitcoin stuff, a whole bunch of coding stuff, but I haven't found anything like this. So I'm gonna give it to you on a you heard it here first basis. Um, the first attribute, the first step to establishing your self protocol, which is the requirements and the methods that you basically um, believe in, that you form to when it comes to yourself. Inside, outside looking in, interaction, all that stuff. It is the method and requirements of your functionality. And um, when we're young, we're being raised, um, and there's no control, there's no power. You are who they say you are. But when you become an adult, you are who you say you are. And that's why throughout this series, I use the term own. I say your own. I I believe in God. God is my Father. God is not dead. He's surely alive. I believe that Jesus is preparing a place for me because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have told me he was. I believe that he died on the cross and raised up from the dead. I believe he went down. It sounds crazy, but I really believe that he went down into heaven and he grabbed the keys to the kingdom and took them up to heaven with him. And he's going to let me in when the time comes because he got the keys, okay? And all I need is to believe that he died on the cross and to confess it with my mouth. And I will do that every day to the day that I die. And I said all of that to say, I do believe that every single one of these attributes for me personally start with God. So even though I'm saying my own, I know that they come from the inspiration of God the Father. God is love, okay? And he created me fearfully and wonderfully. And I do not at any point during this whole Voice Behind the Voice podcast want you to get any implication otherwise outside of your own issues. You know what I mean? I can't control your issues and what you got going on over there. But I can control what I got going on over here. And I just want to get that disclaimer done. We already know I'm a child of the King and my inspiration comes from the Lord. But I know that there are people who are watching this who are confused about having a relationship with God, who are confused about who they are, and just need some answers. So I'm not here to shove Jesus down your throat. I am here to help you improve yourself. That's what I'm here for. So, for those of you who do not believe in the Lord, I made it a little easier for you to understand. Okay? So, when I say your own, I mean not your parents, not your siblings, not your cousins, not your enemies, not your frenemies, not your friends, not your neighbor, not your grandpa, not your grandma, not your great grandpa, not your great grandma, not your church people, not your pastor, not your teacher, not your coach, not your president, not your vice president, not me, not your dog, not your cat, not your fish. Your own. Okay? So, number one is commit. I keep clapping. I'm sorry. I'm happy. I'm excited. Um, my kids say, silly mommy. Um, they do. They say it just like that. Silly mommy. Like at least twice a day. Because that's who I am. Okay. So, commit. Number one, commit to your own set of values. I took long enough to get just to saying that. Commit to your own set of values. Listen. So for those of you who do not know what values are, I'm extremely exhausted. So I've passed the level of sanity that is necessary to get through this appropriately. Okay? So just bear with me as all I'm really worried about is not just like closing my eyes and falling over because I'm tired. But I'm talking about values, and this is an example because I want this to work. This last week of podcasting for me, I just added a new podcast, and I have two. So I am no longer posting every day yet. Right now, I'm only posting on As Voice Gigs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I'm posting on Dynamicon for Kids, that YouTube on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So no longer am I doing every day for voice gigs. But this is, for me, I'll just talk about my values um, that are basically surrounding this podcast, and why I'm up and I'm doing this, because it's my passion. So let me get to the definition. So the definition of value. So like just value as a noun is, it's basically the importance or the worth or the usefulness that we associate with something. You value your sleep. If you value your sleep, you do whatever you can to be asleep to be asleep at the time you know you need to be asleep in order to get your adequate amount of sleep for yourself to function. That word function. Um, you 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 do whatever you can so that no matter what happens, you sleep, you get that sleep. Um, for me, for this, it's the same thing with the podcast. I have to make sure that, look, like I said, it's been a rough week and things didn't really go out when I said they was going to go out. And it really, I could have been like, man, I'm just a failure. Like, I'm always going to mess up. I'm never going to get it right. Or I could be like, whatever, let's do it better next time. Better next time. Better next time. That's it. That is like, that's the mantra. It's better next time. So this for me is it's a passion, and I value this. I value um, speaking to you about these issues and these attributes because I want you to improve, and in through this I am also improving, because not only am I doing the research and watching the videos and making sure that I come correct. Um, I'm not just doing it for the podcast. I'm soaking it in for myself. I'm soaking it. I'm soaking it in. I'm soaking it in. Okay. So, doing that. So it's a value for me. Values that are associated with this podcast. I value transparency. My good friend Julio, God rest his soul. Um, I never knew if it was a compliment or not, but he used to always say, "You're so transparent." And I swear, the first time I ever heard the word transparent, he said it. And then after that, after he said it, it seemed like everybody was like, "Girl, you're so transparent." I just can't help it. I can't help it. I have to give my all, because if I don't give the bad with the good, I feel like the good is worthless. And um my bad stuff, my craziness, um my my brain farts and my Moses tongue. I'm just gonna call it Moses tongue from now on. I got a bad case of Moses tongue. I'll be stumbling over myself, and I say Moses tongue because in the Bible, when God was burning the bush and all that stuff, Moses was using the excuse um, that he doesn't speak well, and it's like, God, you want to put me in front of all these people and deliver them. You want me to put me in front of Pharaoh and tell him something, and I can't even speak a whole sentence without mumbling and stumbling. That's why I call it Moses. See, Moses tongue. But if I don't have that, what am I? What am I? So I have to give you the bad with the good. I have to give you the not bad. I have to give you the imperfect with the stuff that might make you think that I think I'm perfect. A lot of times people see you and they're jealous of what you have and who you are, and they try to associate it with like you trying to be perfect or you being better than them. I've gotten this my whole entire life, and let me tell you, um, not once have I ever hidden my imperfections or my mistakes. People just choose not to see that. And that's fine with me. You want to see the good stuff only. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But I'm not going to hide what's not good. And for me, that's always been a value for me, to just be real. I remember, I think when I was like 13, when I first started asking God, make me real for you. I have been praying that since I was 13 years old. And boy, the stuff I've had to go through, but that's my prayer. Make me real for you. And I know everybody can't relate to that. But it's cool. Um, it's something that I'm committed to, and that takes me to the next definition, which is commitment. And commitment is when you are bound to something. You're voluntarily bound to something. You have voluntarily um, put yourself. You have voluntarily. I tried to not dedicated yourself to something. I tried not to look. You have voluntarily dedicated yourself to something. This is just the Siri dictionary. Don't even trip. Dedicated um, to something to the point where you have basically written off any freedoms to act otherwise or to act outside of that commitment. Um, for instance, we're talking about transparency. So I'm the type of person who, if I see you acting kind of not you, to make someone else comfortable, or you trying to tell me or trying to convince me to be someone I'm not to make someone else comfortable, I'm gonna look at you like you crazy. I might not say anything, or if you really expect me to be somebody else to make you comfortable, you won't hear a word out of me. You won't get nothing. You won't get nothing out of me. You just gonna get Like, is it over? Let me know when it's over, and all y'all are done with the shenanigans and with the nonsense, okay? Just let me know when you're done. I'll be here waiting. Just me. Cuz I can't give you anything else. I'm committed to being myself. And it takes a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, because all my life, let me you know, and you can say what you want. You can say I'm being a victim. You can say anything. But all of my life, people have been telling me that who I am is wrong. Who I am is not right. My tone of voice, I should change my tone of voice. My attitude, they don't like my attitude. Too much attitude. I auditioned for to be a cheerleader in high school, and I remember we were outside, and we were kind of like we kind of had this moment to like practice something. I can't remember if they gave us a routine or if we just had to make up a routine. I can't remember, but I do remember that people were watching us, so we were all kind of doing different stuff, and I couldn't do the splits. You know, that could have been it, but everything else I had, let me tell you. So that couldn't have been it. But I remember being outside and we were doing this stuff, and one of my friends, and I'm not, I know that he didn't just say this because he was my friend, because he could have went up to any other person and said this, but he was like, you're too good for this. He was like, you're too good for this. Surely enough, I walked up in there, and they were like, you didn't make it. And I was like, okay, it's cool. Like, I'm cool. Like, I know I'm good. I'm cool. Whatever. Um, but I say that to say, like, um, it's something about me that um, begats rejection. And I'm good now, because I'm definitely in a situation now where God has placed me in kind of a win-win situation. Like, no matter who says no to me, I'm gonna win, and because of that, I already won. Like, I'm winning because I know that as long as I keep moving forward, moving my feet, and doing what He has called me to do, and seeking to please only Him, I'm gonna win. So, um, and that's a value of mine. I value my relationship with the Lord. I value all my relationships, and that's another thing about the whole being fake thing. Like, I have so many very good friends, like so many very wonderful relationships in my life that I value, that it really doesn't matter what people have to say. Like, if you don't like me, there's some people over there, there's some people over there, there's some people behind you, there's some people behind me who can who I mean, you go anywhere else. You go anywhere else. There are literally people everywhere. You know, if you really need a friend so badly that you are willing to try to make be me conform to your comfort, um, you would actually be better off going and trying to find somebody else to do that. That's what I'm basically saying. But it's a I've always had that value where I'm just gonna be myself, because I physically can't be anybody else. And the reason why I brought up in the beginning that we were raised by our parents and we didn't have control, because there's a lot of people who grow up to be adults and they forget that they get to choose who they are, that they get to choose their own values. And one thing about choosing your own values, like why you should do it, is because your values make you unique. When you are authentic, and you really sit down. I mean, you really sit down and think about the things that make the things that make your heart beat. The things that make you tick. Um, and I mean, also think about the things that kind of grind your gears, because you go ahead, think of that, the list of things that really grind your gears and just make you want to choke somebody out. Add those to the list too, but put them to the side, because we're gonna need those later. Um, but make a list of the things that just, like, I love the Lord. I really love the Lord. I love the Lord. Like I can't get around it. There are times where I have tried to hide that part of me, and something, I don't know, God just be like, like, you know, God just like pushes me out, and I can't help it. Um, so I just embrace it. But what was I gonna say? I just think about the Lord. But yeah, I value my relationship with the Lord. I value being a mother. It's funny because, like, through COVID-19, and my kids are small, and we've gone through COVID, and where they literally have not played with another kid besides, like, their cousins. Um, and that was only a few times in the last year. Um, but I am their only companion. I'm not just their mom and the teacher and the nurse and the disciplinarian. I'm the friend. I'm the playground. Look, I'm the playground. Okay, I am the slide, the swing, the obstacle course. I, I am it. Okay, so I'm enjoying and embracing this moment of being my children's friend. I don't care how you feel about that. I don't. Because if I know kids, and trust me, I know, look, I hear people say all the time, I know kids. No, you don't. I know kids, okay? I know kids, and I know that there's going to come a day where, and it's not because they want to, but because they think it's what they should do at that age, they are going to make the decision to not want to play with mommy anymore, not want to cuddle with mommy anymore, not want to be picked up and kiss mommy and hug mommy and whatever. They're just not. And eventually they come back around to it. If you continue to nurture them and not take take it personal. But and this is what I've seen, my experience, what I've seen with my own eyes. But I'm embracing this. Like, I know there's a day where I'm gonna be like, you know, and just thinking about it, I get kind of, but yeah, I love, like, oh, my favorite thing to do is like to stand like behind a wall. Like, I just, no warning or anything. I'll just be like on my phone, and it's the moments where my kids have completely forgot about me, and I'll be like, just, I notice that they're not thinking about me at all, and I'll just chill, do what I gotta do my work, making sure my stories are relevant. You feel me? And and then I just wait until a kid comes, and I just, and it is the most fun, like, for all of us. And then, of course, whoever isn't the one who got scared, now it's like, mommy, scare me. You know what I mean? It's fun. I enjoy being my children's friend. I enjoy my relationship with my kids. I enjoy being their teacher. As their mother, you are their first teacher. I enjoy sitting down and having conversations with my kids. And I love watching. Right now, we've been watching Hancock, and you can judge me if you want to. I totally forgot what the movie was like before I hit play. But then, we got so into it that it was like, oh, okay, you guys, sorry, you're not supposed to see that. Or, hey, don't say that. All day, I'd be like, don't say that. You can't say that. I can say that. They can say that. You can't say that. But anyways, we're watching Hancock, and I don't mind. Do the whole movie. They know. And I take pride in the fact that my kids know that they can ask me a question and I'll give them an answer. Even if I gotta ask Siri or Google or whatever. But yeah, so I value my relationship with my children. Um, it's one of my values. I want my children to be successful. I want them to be financially free, and I want them to never have to worry about whether or not their kids are going to be financially free like I do now. Um, so, I mean, I have lots and lots of values, and I have so many values that you might as well just call them rules. But I haven't always been good at standardizing my values or putting boundaries around my values. And in the coming episodes, we are going to talk about that, and so much more. But I hope that I helped you out a little bit. I want to. Oh, hold on. Let me add something really quick. So I want you to write those things down. Just write 3 things down that you really, really, that just make you who you are. Like I said, my relationship with the Lord, um, my my gift of transparency, and my my legacy. Basically, those are 3 of my values. And then I want you to hold yourself accountable. We talked about authenticity. We talked about accountability. Um, so just to okay, so okay, never mind, because what I'm gonna do is when you heard me say authenticity, you also saw the little white eye come up, and the video for authenticity came up. Okay, we're just gonna say that's what happened because that's what's gonna happen. All right, but if you go to this video right here in that rectangle, you are going to see the video about accountability, because it's very important for for us to hold ourselves accountable. And you watch that video and you will know what I mean by being accountable. And so write down those 3 values. If you want to watch more of my The Voice Behind the Voice podcast, there's a playlist. Here's subscribe, but write down those 3 values and start holding yourself accountable to them. Okay, that's your challenge. All right, so this has been another episode of Voice Gigs, the Voice Behind the Voice podcast. I am Marquita Hudgens, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.